Konnichiwa, this is Japan country in the Forest Asia, the flag with a red circle in the middle of the flag Japan with a right rectangular more commonly known Hinomaru, which means the circle of the sun. The exact origin of Hinomaru is unknown, but rising seems at hold some symbolic meaning. The Japanese islands are east of the Asian mainland. The Japanese mythology or religion as an empire said to the direct descent to the sun goddess Amasitaru event. On 1870 are illustrated from the century ago. You are probably know is a heat flash to the one was used in Imperial Japanese army to the different compare flag to a Japan and rising sun where are extra high for sun. Japan is located like off the east coast of ASEAN contained between a Pacific Ocean and a Sea of Japan. The country divided by 47 features is an incredibly beautiful style flag divided by 4 different categories. Kento Fudo. Ken 43 plain features. 2 which mean something like metropolis and this country and only apply to Tokyo City. Few refer to urban features which mean to city of Osaka and Kyoto. And finally Do in a unique category translating to something like circuit and apply to Hokkaido in the north. Tokyo in Japan is a capital and largest city in the world with a great metropolitan and including Kento containing 37 million people. Tokyo is like a 33 smaller cities and smashes into one divided by using a colored wide where the Empire, Prime Minister and Supreme Court are located.
So first of all, let's go with Japanese currency. For Japanese currency, it is called yen, and this is the unit, the mark, and in Roman character, yen. This is how you write it when numerals are involved for each of the three. For Japanese currency, there are 6 types of coins, which are 1 yen coin, 5 yen coin, 10 yen coin, 50 yen coin, 100 yen coin, and 500 yen coin. For the paper money, this is 1,000, 2,000, 5,000, and last but not least, 10,000 yen. Now, let's go with Japanese languages. There are 3 commonly used Japanese languages, which are hiragana, katakana, and kanji. And as you can see, they are written differently from each other. Hiragana and katakana are much simpler. Meanwhile, kanji are much more complicated.
As the third most powerful country, Japan today have a population of 127 million people. The country which known with high literacy rate and advance in technology is actually facing a slowly shrinking of population, while the proportion of the older people is rising. The median age of the Japanese people is 48 years, while the life expectancy is up to the age of 85 years. Shintoism and Buddhism are 2 major religions in Japan. Shinto, which is the indigenous religion of the country and its people. Shinto is an action-centered religion. It focuses on ritual practices to be carried out to establish a connection between present-day Japan and its ancient roots. Buddhism is brought from Kingdom of Baekje in Korea and also from mainland China. Most of Japanese worship ancestors and gods at Shinto shrines or at private altars, but they never claim themselves as Shintoists or Buddhists. They believe that they do not belong to any religious organization but as the way of life.
Manga is a sensational hobby in Japan. Whether you are a kid in a library or a young adult waiting for a ride, or simply a working man on his way to work, Japanese love to read manga. Now, what is manga? Manga is a Japanese comic or novel where the mangaka uses drawings and dialogues to tell the stories which are drawn in frames. They are usually printed in black and white. The word manga is a Japanese kanji symbol meaning mang, musical impromptu, and ga, pictures, meaning musical or impromptu pictures. How to read manga. Traditionally, manga stories are read from right to left and from top to bottom, in the same way as Japanese writing, unlike English comic.
Japanese calligraphy, also known as shodo or shuji, are artistic ways of writing the Japanese language. Japan is a traditionalist country in which they greatly admire the culture and tradition, especially towards shodo due to its rich history. Not only shodo is regarded highly as a piece of art, but also as an honorable skill for a Japanese to have and is aesthetically pleasing. Has seen that Japanese widely use shodo in almost anything and even are used internationally. Japanese calligraphy has different styles on writing their language. Even the terms shodo and shuji are two different ways in writing the Japanese language. Shuji is a practice in artistically writes the correct way of the Japanese syllable, whereas shodo is a practice to write the Japanese syllable with creativity and artistic freedom. Due to the widespread influence of Japanese culture towards the world, more people are now interested in Japanese culture, especially calligraphy.
Japanese poetry. Since Chinese Tang Dynasty, written Japanese poetry has existed as an art form. There are 10 types of Japanese poetry. Details on waka, haiku, kanji, and renga. Haiku is the most well-known Japanese poetry type where it's originally called haiku. Waka is the earliest Japanese poetry form where kuge in ancient times often exchanged waka rather than letters. Kanji includes Japanese poetry written in Chinese and popular during Heian period, while renga it is a collaborative form of two or more poets. As for the poets, focus will be on four haiku masters. The most famous poet in Edo period was Matsuo Basho, and below three are among his list of words. Masao Kashiki was majorly contributed in modern haiku. A drop of ink is one of his sickbed diaries. Isa carried a pen name meaning cup of tea. This highlighted haiku was inspired by the loss of his children. Iyosabu Son was a poet and a painter during Edo, and this translated haiku is one of his works.
When we talk about traditional Japanese building, we're referring to the Edo period when Japan started incorporating modern Western influence in its architecture. There are a few characteristics of traditional Japanese building which are woods that given great respect. Screens shoji and sliding doors fusuma is used to divide and redivide rooms as needed. Tatami mats were used for a large part of the flooring in the houses, providing a soft surface to sit and sleep. Veranda or engahua that runs around the outside edge of the house, and it is like an outdoor corridor. Genkan is a sunken space between the front door and the rest of the house, and it separates the home from the outside. The modern Japanese approach to architecture because of impact of rebuilding sacred shrines. Fuji TVHQ is composed of massive steel columns connected by pedestrian bridges. Prada Tokyo is 6 stories of smoothly curving crystal glass formed by the diamond-shaped panes. Mode Gakuen Kokon Tower have a cocoon-like shape of woven aluminium and glass. Saint Mary's Cathedral, Tokyo, is made of stainless steel and designed in the shape of a cross.
Near the midpoint of the country, Mount Fuji spans across 2 prefectures and it is easily accessible from Japan's large cities. On the north side, the mountain is surrounded by Fuji Five Lakes region, also known as Fuji Koko, which is known for its lake resorts, many kinds of outdoor activities, and hot springs. Located to the north of Fuji, Fuji-Q Highland is one of Japan's leading amusement parks. Rivaled by only Nagashima's Poland near Nagoya, Fuji-Q Highland is known as Japan's premier trail ride destination. Directly next to Fuji-Q Highland, there is also Highland Resort Hotel and Spa, Fujiyama Museum, and Fujiyama Onsen. Sapporo is Japan's 5th most populated city and the capital of Hokkaido. Sapporo is known for its long winter, mild summers, and amazing cuisines. Sapporo is only a 90-minute plane ride from Tokyo. The Tokyo-Sapporo connection is one of the busiest passenger air routes in the world and makes the city easily reachable. One of the best-known winter events all of Japan is the Sapporo Snow Festival, which is held for 1 week each year in early to mid-February and attracts over 2 million visitors to the city. The most famous attraction of the Snow Festival are the many large snow sculptures found in Odori Park. Aside from the Japan giant sculptures, Odori Park also have many performances and events, many types of food stalls, ice skating rink, and nightlight exhibitions.
The family is called Kazuku in Japanese. The Japanese family is based on the line of descent and adoption. Besides that, A is a Japanese term translated to household. It also can mean family. The definition of A has been referred to as the culture medium for physical processes of kinship, such as mating and procreation. For traditional Shinto wedding, the grooms dons a traditional black kimono for the ceremony and sometimes changes into gaudy blue or white tuxedo. Traditional wedding costume worn by women often includes a large white veils. White has traditionally been the color of wedding kimonos because white is symbol of purity. The wedding is usually held at Shinto. The couple is blessed by Shinto priests. They sip, some seek, and say a few words. Sometimes rings are exchanged. After ceremony, families of the bride and groom are formally introduced to each other.
Dress of Japan. There are 2 types of clothing that Japanese wear, which is the traditional dress known as a wafuku and the western clothes known as a yofuku. Kimono usually worn at formal on special occasions such as funeral, weddings, and tea ceremonies. And kimono differ in style and color depending on the occasion on which it is worn. and the age and marital status of the person wearing it. In the summer, they worn the informal leisure clothing, which more easily worn lightweight informal kimono, which known as yakuta. It is a comfortable dress on summer days or after a hot bath. Yakuta are relatively inexpensive and made of cotton. Obi. The obi is similar to a belt, as it wraps around the final layer of the traditional robe to help in keeping all of the layers together for a long period of time. It is often bright, extremely thick, and bow-shaped, and it serves as the final touch to the costume. Bon Odori is a traditional Japanese dance which is usually performed at summer festival. People usually wear beautiful kimono dress and dance to the traditional music with various steps, movement, and gesture. Nihon Guyu is a very traditional Japanese dance performed by dancers wearing kimono and using traditional accessories and items such as fans and ropes. Differing from the very participatory Bon Odori, this dance is mainly performed on stage as part of entertainment event.
Gion Festival is the city's biggest festival, and it is one of the most famous in Japan. It is centered around Yasaka Shrine. People of Kyoto held a festival to pray for deliverance from a plague of sickness that had befallen the city. Prayers were ordered by the emperor, and sacred child is selected to be sacrificed to appease the god by purification ritual. The sacred child is not allowed to set foot on the ground from July 13 until he is fully paraded around the town on July 17. The most popular flute is Yamaboko flute. For 3 nights prior to each of these parades, Kyoto's downtown area is pedestrianized and very Japanese street party called Yoyama is held. These nights are often the most enjoyable experience of the Gion Matsuri for the visitors. The girls can dress in yukata, vendors selling festival fare, and the general buzz of the crowd in summer. The Yamaboko float to be used in the parade are also on display in the streets. Sushi is a dish made with Japanese rice seasoned with rice vinegar. Soba is a buckwheat noodle served in soup with topping of spring onion. Wagashi is a Japanese sweet made of rice flour and red bean paste. Natto is a fermented soybean. It has salty savory flavor. Tamagoyaki is a Japanese omelette.